after beating Stoke. Lots of Coventry fans are saying one thing: it is now happening, we believe. How are you all doing? Welcome back to another 20 minutes of Coventry Chat, reviewing that win, of course, at the Bet365 with Scott, J, Tom and Ben. We're very grateful to have your company. If you've just come across the channel, please drop us a quick subscribe as we look back at all the tweets, the good and the bad, saying what's happened with Coventry this week, beating Sheffield United and beating Stoke. Hands up here, who'd thought you'd come out with 6 points of those two games? Liars. Right, we're also talking about salty Mark Robbins this week. One of our panel in particular here has said that he wasn't very appreciative of Mark Robbins' post-match interview. We'll get into that in a second. Plus, how secure is Lampard? Loads of teams are sacking their managers, Premier League and Championship. His name's already been mentioned in a couple. Plus the Fair Play League. How dirty are Coventry this season? Plus the A to Z continues as well. Right, Tom, good trip to Stoke.
Unbelievable day. It was truly amazing. I also want to give a shout out to Colin, by the way. I said I would. He was a viewer who recognised me from the game. Him and his mate were very polite and very, very grateful words about the podcast. So just a quick shout out to him.
Hello, Colin.
Back onto the
Colin.
Great guy. But back onto the game. It was unbelievable. I thought we were the better team personally. I don't think Stoke offered much. I'm actually quite surprised after watching that they're in second place. Respectfully, obviously, but I think they were really hard to break down, though. I thought defensively they were really good. Not much going forward, but defensively I thought we really struggled to get past them. We needed that goal, we got it, and what better way to do it? I would say it's one of the best winners in person I've seen. It was unbelievable. The away end just erupted. And, and we were saying last week, I think Ben mentioned it, we needed a crucial week. The lads had to step up, and they did. So massive respect to all of them. The only negative for me was Haji Wright, but I'm not going to go too much into the negatives because I'm just feeling so positive. But unbelievable day, and bring on West Brom at home after the break.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could tell you about the game, but if you're watching Sky Sports, Tim Sherwood was doing the game on Sky Sports, and he couldn't give a flying about Coventry and Stoke. He said it was a dull game, no interest in it. He said he was watching the other ones. Shame on you, Sky Sports. Give the Championship a bit more respect, please, when you finally get to comment on it, because I was disgraced the fact that Sherwood couldn't care less about Coventry and Stoke, given it's the top two meeting in the league. Right, rant over. Ben, this Ben says, I couldn't give a flying toss about the performance. We kept a clean sheet versus a team scoring goals, but Laurie Delap style goal. The absolute Shansbury. And you're not going to win every game 4-0 with flair, Ben, but did we see a different strength to this Coventry side this week that they can mix it up with teams that are a little bit more in your face and a little bit more defensive?
Well, yeah, I think we did, but it's what we've been doing all season, really. We've been adapting and winning games by different methods. It's not just been as straightforward as the scoreline suggests sometimes. I mean, if you go look at the Watford game, we could have been a couple of goals down in that. So we've rode our luck a bit at times, but you need to. But like I said at the start of the week, that it was a massive week for the boys. And last season, we'd have crumbled. 100% we'd have crumbled. And they haven't. They've shown great character, grit, determination, little dark arts they're doing to get the upper hand on the opponent. And let's not underestimate going away to Stoke when they're flying and getting a result. Is a good, really good result. I'm proud of the lads.
Yeah, that away end looked immense as well, as Tom mentioned. Scott Michael says Jay Da Silva and EMC were absolutely brilliant yesterday, and probably the best I've ever seen JDS play for us. EMC when fit and a run of games is a proper handful. Hoping he's back for us after the international break. Yeah, Jay Da Silva, was that the best game you've ever seen him play in a Coventry shirt?
I wouldn't have said so. I think he played well. I think both him and Milan were brilliant. Personally, they were my two best players at the weekend. Kept both of their wingers quiet, and they've been doing quite well lately, the two wingers. Jay Da Silva, I'm trying to think. He had an absolute corker game 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks ago. Can't remember who it was against, but he was superb. It was probably around the Leicester game. I think probably just before that when he was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. That's probably the best game I've seen him play. But unfortunately, I can't quite remember it. But both him and Milan, I thought were fantastic. Milan was far better going forward because he was on a rampage at times. Milan was. EMC, For some reason, I thought he was going to be pulled off after 60, 70 minutes when they were making the sub. I wondered if that was going to be an option, but obviously not. And, well, what a goal. I still don't know how we got knocked out. I've watched that replay so many times, but that ball just flew into the top of the net in the 86th minute. And, yeah, that was superb. Absolutely superb. There's the fist pump.
Yeah.
The best picture going on the internet at the moment, but what an absolute finish that was. But, yeah, I think most of them played well. I think, like Tom said, each man's their own, and as Ben was saying, I thought it was a proper battle, fighting battle from the boys.
Okay. Right, Jay, you had an issue with Mark Robbins. After this one, let's read what you wrote, shall we? Mark Robbins is a legend at Coventry, but this interview has bugged me. He clearly moved on, which is understandable. I feel the tone is disrespectful. I get he's back in his new team, but the interview seems to lack class for me. Just my opinion. Yeah, talk us through what really annoyed you.
How to honestly, I got a bit rattled by it. I went over the top on it. Honestly, in reality, it doesn't really matter at all. He's back in his own team. Fair play to him. And it's good because a lot of Coventry fans still have this weird obsession that with Mark Robbins. Obviously, I appreciate he's a legend of the club, but he's basically manager of another team now. We our focus should be on our manager and how well we're doing as a team. What he said in the interview as well, I felt was a bit salty. Disrespectful, probably the bad choice of words. But things like we didn't lay a glove on a goalkeeper apart from when we cut his chin open. With all due respect, we had quite a few opportunities there. Keeper made a few saves. He got a graze on his chin after he dived into BTA. He said that we played long ball. They play more long balls than us in that match. With our style at the moment, it's very get the ball forward as quick as possible. So yes, we do play long ball, but we also play down the wings. We play through the middle. There's several different ways that we play. We're not exactly like a high pressing team, but all of a sudden we will press high at certain periods of the game. So there's a lot of different sort of elements of tactics in there. Playing for throw-ins and corners. I don't know how the hell you play for corners and throw-ins. I've asked loads of people on Twitter how you play for throw-ins and corners, and not one person answered me. The only logic I've got is we're attacking, you've kicked the ball out, hence the goal we got. They boot and hoofed it away. We had a throw-in, threw it in, scored a goal. Like it's just again, a good analogy someone gave on Twitter is basically like asking somebody about their ex-partner and you getting a bit of you can't say anything nice about them basically, and is that sort of vibe I got, which again is understandable. But look, 24 hours has passed, we won. Again, love Mark Robbins, what he did for this club, but I'm firmly in the Frank Lampard camp, and he's our boss now.
Yeah, you went on your own. This one says after years of watching Mark Robbins pop matches for years, he'd always compliment the opposition. I was disappointed with today's comments. He knows we're better directing than cornerstones. I think he's turned into Chris Wilder. What somebody said.
I think that I would be as well. I'd be bitter because he's seen us doing so well, and I feel like he felt he deserved a bit more time, and understandably so. But it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, but my thing here as well. If that was Chris Wilder the other day, Chris Wilder was chatting a bit rubbish as well. I sort of made a comment on that as well, just because Mark Robbins, a lot of fans are defending him. But if it was a Chris Wilder, Marty Fuentes or something like that, and sort of gave a complete disparity reaction of what the game is, I'm going to call it out. And then you look at the difference. Lampard, when we lost against Wrexham, Lampard didn't make it. Oh yeah, they did this, they did that. They were basically, they didn't play the team that we thought they were going to play and stuff. He's like, no, they're the better team. He told it as it was. And again, managers are going to sort of defend their players and stuff like that. But I'd say for me, it lacked a little bit of class. But look, I get it. He's back in his team. It's a painful loss.
Okay. All right. Let's move back on to Coventry players then. Scott, James says Sims is at it every single time he steps in at the minute. There's absolutely massive 3 points. And Roger Green says, not having Eccles messing around in centre mid makes all the difference. Yeah, your comments on those 2 points, please.
I'll go for Eccles first. I think when we played against Sheffield United, I think he played at 10. I think if I remember rightly. And to be fair to him, he's not a 10, in my opinion. I think he's more of a 6 or an 8. He was put in there. I don't think he's anywhere near as bad as people think. If he's being played out of position and it's not his position, then I don't know what people expect. But he's probably a more reliable person to have on the pitch than some, in my opinion. So I don't think there's too much issue with Josh Eccles, in my opinion. Simsy, I've got to say, I'm not been his biggest fan, but Pompey away for 90 minutes. I think he played for 90 minutes. He was superb. Absolutely superb he was, apart from scoring. I think he set BTA up for one, if not two. Yeah, he came on again yesterday. He put himself about. I was sitting at home watching it saying, you're on for what, 15, 20 minutes. Empty the tank, Ellis, and go for them. He didn't get the flick. He didn't get the assist from the league for the goal. But yeah, I thought he came on, put himself about, looked quite lively, which is what most people want to see. And I think he's doing well, and he's probably in with a shout for a start for the next game, I think.
Okay. A theory here, Tom, from a Coventry fan, Natalie. She says, Haji was way off it today. It looked like he was trying to avoid injury before his USA game as he pulled out of everything. We talked about this briefly last week. Do you agree?
Sadly, I do agree. I thought Haji had a really, really poor game yesterday. As I said, it's the only negative I have. And I don't want to slate him too much, but I thought he was just really lazy yesterday. He didn't get for anything. He was defensively awful. Like, their defenders were just bullying him off the ball. There was at one point in the second half, I think it might have been Torp, who played through a ball. And I think Ellis Sims would have ran for it. And Haji just looked so uninterested. And maybe it's a USA thing, because I remember the last international break, he scored, 2 goals? And they were really good goals as well. And we thought, he's going to come back and he's going to be smashing it. He came back. And I just think for a few games now, he's just been so off it. So I'm hoping he comes back after this international break and he plays better. But at the moment, I'm not. I mean, the thing is, he's the second highest goal scorer in the league. So I don't want to bash him too much because he is scoring. However, he was just so poor yesterday that I can't help but be disappointed with him. So I'm hoping he comes back better. But I honestly think Sims could be a start soon, hopefully. Just start him, because we can't keep these performances from Haji because he's just not turning up at the moment.
Cheers, Tom. Before we move on from the Stoke game, just staying with you, Tom, if you can help us clear out an argument that's brewing online between Stoke and Coventry fans.
It's the minute silence thing. Yeah.
So Andrew says, all nice winning, but let's not overshadow disrespecting the minute silence after the last post. And a few Stoke fans have called this out, saying Coventry were downright disrespectful. What was your view of that? Were they?
To be honest, I think I might say yeah, because I don't think it's difficult. I mean, they had it on a screen all before the game what to do. I don't know how a lot of the Cov fans couldn't follow it, but basically, they did the last post, yeah. They did that on the trumpet. As soon as that finished, the Cov fans, not all of them, obviously, it's not everyone, this is just a majority, and they all just started roaring, come on, City, and then everyone just fell silent because they thought, we still need to do the minute silence. As soon as the minute silence finished, it turned really toxic. It kind of set the scene for the game, really, because it all turned really toxic. The Stoke fans were giving it. They were obviously they'd be furious. I don't blame them. I was furious as well because it's not hard to follow. So I don't know how they got it so mixed up, but it did set the tone for a very toxic game.
Well, thanks for being honest on that one. Right, let's move on then. We've got an international break now coming up, and then we've got some big games. We've got Middlesbrough coming up, and an old friend. Viviash, of course, is leading Middlesbrough at the moment. Is likely still to be in that game. Scott, very quickly, can you see him being a head coach? I know he doesn't. He said he doesn't want to be, but is he? Could he cut it?
I'm sure he probably could. I think from what I know about him and read about him, I think he probably needs somebody a bit kinder to be the head coach. I think he's the man that goes out on the training pitch, and I don't think he holds back. Let's put it that way. In terms of how he talks to the players, which he's probably bad cop, good cop. So I think he's the bad cop. I think he's more of the brains of the outfit, and somebody else can do the hand holding, cuddling players, and wrapping them up in cotton wool. I think, but it'd be a useful coach or assistant to have, definitely.
Okay. Ben, Newcastle are in a bit of trouble at the moment in the Premier League. We've already started seeing some fans compiling some lists. And I think this is going to happen now in the Premier League. Whenever the manager is in trouble, Lampard's name is going to be up there. Where do you think he's at in terms of loyalty to Coventry now? Do you see any size of club coming in for him that he could be tempted to leave? He's not going to go to Southampton or Norwich, let's be honest.
No, there's always a temptation to step up to the Premier League, but to be honest, if you want me to, I don't think he'll go. I think he's got a good project going with us, and he's breaking all sorts of records as a manager in the Championship, and he's on course to probably break more records as the season goes on. I don't think he'll go anywhere, Mark. I genuinely don't, but I wouldn't say 100%, and why wouldn't you want Lampard? He's a pragmatic, attack-minded sort of man manager, and he generates a lot of publicity as well. So he's definitely be a target for some people, but I can't see him going.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he's not going to do sideways move. Well, it's not even a sideways move, Jay. Is it to Middlesbrough or Southampton or Norwich? Even though potentially they've got a bit more money maybe to spend than you.
Yeah, I said the project's doing fantastically well at the moment. He's top of the table. Why would you want to move to any other team in this league? Again, as Ben's mentioned, Premier League's a different kettle of fish, really. But I think Frank Lampard is a smart guy. He knows if he moves club, and like Rob Edward, a lot of spotlight's going to be on him and what he does. So if he does join a Newcastle, for example, rather than Edwards joins a Wolves, everyone's going to be looking at Newcastle and the results, and they'll be the first ones to sort of put them down if they lose one game, 2 games, etc. As well, you're going into a club not because they're doing well, it's because they're probably doing quite poorly. So you've got to sort of instantly change it around effectively. Obviously, again, I'm an advocate that he did a good job at Chelsea the first time. He did a good job at Everton. And then obviously he went back to Chelsea as well, where he didn't do so well in that second stint. But again, Derby in the Championship did an excellent job also. So I think he sort of learned that you just don't take any job, any opportunity that's available. You sort of look at it. He's out of the game for quite a while. He doesn't need to work. Obviously, he's earned a penny or two in his career. So I think he'll probably, if an opportunity does arise, let's say Chelsea comes back onto the market for him or something like that, he'll look at every single aspect to make sure it is the right move for him. And I don't think he'll jump ship just for any club and any project. He'll look at everything. But everything's going very well at Coventry at the moment. He's got a real opportunity to sort of build and grow with the team. Hopefully get us into the Premiership next season, and then sort of take us on a journey further. And he knows Coventry stick by the managers. Got a nice reputation doing that.
Very true. Very true. Right, Fair Play League. Coventry sit right smack bang in mid-table in 11th, so not too much to discuss there. But you are one of 8 teams without a red card so far. I mean, Tom, have you noticed disciplinary-wise that you've been at the top of this table in recent years, of course. Have you noticed that you are level-headed in terms of coolness when things are getting fiery on the pitch?
I would say we are. I think sometimes we do get cheap yellow cards we don't need to. For example, Kitchen gets me a bit of a scrap, but I would say we're pretty level-headed. I mean, a lot of them red cards before were from players like Hamer, but then he became very level-headed as well himself. So fair enough. But yeah, I think we're a very level-headed team. I mean, I'm looking at yesterday. I mean, they could have been so frustrated. I think Johansson in goal. I think he's a cracking goalkeeper, but he was really frustrating. You could tell. And, the players could have just lost their heads, but they kept it very level-headed, and we got the result. But I was furious at Johansson at one point. I was like, he's going down every time. But yeah, I think we're a very level-headed team. I can see a smack bang in the middle. So I'm not picking up any red cards. It's brilliant as well. Let's just hope we haven't jinxed it now and we get a red card next game. So.
Okay. Finally, this week, then, we are looking at the A to Z of Coventry City. We're up to letter F. You're not allowed to put Frank Lampard on here because that's an L before any of you try it. Open discussion, then, please. What have we got? Oops, wrong button.
I've got one if you want me to start. I will go with FA Cup Final 1987. I mean, it's the biggest achievement in club history, I would say. Biggest day in club history. I mean, I wasn't there, obviously, but I've seen all the videos and the goals, and it looks outstanding. So, for me, there's no other choice you could go with for FA Cup Final. So.
Mine's Steve Froggatt. I loved watching him that season as a kid. He was fantastic. Yeah.
Was that goal against Everton he scored that when he just got the
he was unbelievable.
I was going to say both of you. I was going to say FA Cup, Froggatt and Danny Fox as well. I love Danny Fox, the left back. When they were my choices.
I like Fleck as well, Jay. I thought Fleck was a good player for us.
Yeah, I went for FA Cup, then I went for 5 points clear. That was my the second one. Don't if it counts or not, but
yeah, FA Cup I think has to go in there, doesn't it? Right. Right, I'm going to disappear. You carry on. We're watching these guys as they go through the stats from the Stoke game and discuss all the ins and outs of the players, who should start as we return after the international break. Thank you very much for watching. From my part, here comes Where Sky Blues Walk Extra Time.
Oh, blimey. Well, there we go. I don't even know where to start. Where do we start? Tom, obviously you were there. might as well talk about the crowd then. What was it, 3,400? 3,000?
Yeah, I think
3,000?
3,600.
Was it that many?
It was,
How was it in the
yeah,
crowd?
it was. I mean, I thought we were really good. Stoke fans had moments of noise. I don't think they're as loud as I thought they were going to be, considering how big of a game it was. But I thought we were really noisy. And I mean, when the goal went in, we just erupted. It was, oh, the limbs were just brilliant. I mean, you could see it on the highlights. It was exceptional. What a goal, what a day. And we move on. And, you know, this is the beautiful part of away game. You've got a little bunch of us and we're all just making so much noise. I do think we have one of the best away followings in the league. But, you know, I might be a bit biased there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've been away a few times, only a couple of times this season now, and it's always very, very noisy.
So noisy.
Yeah, I mean, I sat at home watching the game. I must admit, I sat there for about 20, 25 minutes thinking, I sat there and I was talking to myself going, I don't think they've got a lot here. I was quite surprised. I mean, we spoke about formation last week and lots of chat on various channels about three at the back doing this and other people saying, just go with what we got. And he did. You know, we've gone to, like Ben was saying, we've gone to a team who's stuck 8 goals in the last 2 games. And we've basically gone there and gone, come and beat us then, if you want to. And with that formation, I thought for 20, 25 minutes, although we didn't create a lot, I thought it was all us. That first half, Ben, I don't know what you thought the first half or how we set up, how it went, but I think we did pretty well in the first half and contained them quite well. I think they set up quite compact and all that kind of stuff, which I was quite surprised at. But what did you think?
Well, I looked at the stats straight after the game, like half an hour after, and it said they had a better expected goals than us in a few of the stats. But when I looked before, we're ahead in every single metric. We had a better XG than them. Big total shots on target, corners, every metric. We did a lot better. But I didn't think I think personally they came to hold it. We went to them and they held it as 0-0. The plan was keep it 0-0 as long as we can. Get the keeper to waste time. We nick a goal, and it backfired in my eyes. I think they could have scored when Millian went through. I think he should have done better with that. But at the end of the day, the lads did a great job, and special mentions to both the fullbacks for me. Yeah. I'm not even going to mention Max Grimes because it's getting boring now. But Jada Silva in Milan, I think arguably that was one of the best games I've seen Milan have for us, apart from that shot that went out of the ground. I thought he was brilliant. He seems to be growing in confidence now. Obviously, Torp's not fully fit yet. He's had a few weeks out. He'll come back in. He was sort of the only one that was getting a bit of room around the edge of the box. But credit to Stoke, they defended the box brilliantly. I thought they blocked everything. And on another day, we could have scored a few more goals. But I tell you what, how good's a 1-0 away win? They're the best.
Yeah. So you, Jake, in your opinion, first half?
I thought we played really, really well. I thought we controlled the game fairly comfortably. The whole game, I felt like we were the home team and they were the away team. We were pushing for the win for the whole game. They were basically trying not to lose for 90 minutes. They were basically trying to compact us and then hit us on the counter. As you guys have mentioned before, I think the fullbacks were brilliant. The defenders, the centre-backs didn't really have to do too much, but they contained their centre-forward. I thought Rushworth was absolutely phenomenal. He didn't have to do a lot, but I thought he's phenomenal. Like, it's so reassuring to have him behind you. His handling's phenomenal. His commanding of the area is really, really good. Again, Matt Grimes will brush over him. Boring. Now he's just again controlling games. I thought Torp was good without being spectacular. He got a couple of chances around the edge of the area, but yeah, he just maybe like a week or two off. The wingers I thought did well at times. Taps was a little bit quiet for the 90 minutes. I thought, and Haji will just we'll just brush over Haji's performance. I've got confidence he'll come back with a bang after the USA, I'm sure. But I thought it was a really good control performance. But again, I thought they played like they were the away team trying to compact us to not get any chances. And they were blocking. They were making some good blocks in around the sort of the area. So I thought had a good performance overall.
Yeah, I think both teams defended their box very well. I think it might have been first half. Was it Kitchen that blocked a shot that dropped to one of their blokes right on the edge of the box? I mean, if I'd have gone past Kitchen, I don't think there's any way Rushworth was stopping it. So that was an absolutely cracking bit of closing down there. But I thought a bit like you, Tats was quiet. No point talking about Grimes. He's the Rolls Royce, isn't he? 2 fullbacks were great. I don't even think Rushworth had the save to make. I don't think from memory a proper save.
Not off the top.
No, I think obviously EMC scored, but I mean, Tell me what it was like when that goal went in, Tom. 86 minute, absolute mayhem, I would imagine.
It was bedlam. It was absolute bedlam. It was, honestly, it was so unbelievable. And it just, when he goes in, you have that relief of like, we've actually done it. We've actually won here. Then it ended on like 11 minutes and we were like, let's not get too carried away. But as you guys mentioned, I completely agree. It felt like we were the home team. And the fullbacks were exceptional. I want to give a shout out to Jada Silva in the second half. I think one of their players was through on goal, but he ran all the way back and he made a crucial tackle. And I was like, fair play, because last season we're all saying, why are we starting Jada Silva? He's terrible. But he's stepped up so much this season, and I just love the bloke. I think Milan as well. One of his best games. There was this run he made. I think it was in the second half as well. He was just flying through all of them. And he nearly scored as well. So superb game from them all. The only player is Haji, but I don't want to keep slating Haji because, as Jay said, I'm sure he'll come back, and I'm sure as soon as he comes back, he'll be firing. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think when we talk about JDS, we've mentioned it a few times, Ben, haven't we? About if he ever gets injured or suspended, I don't think he's on too many yellow cards anyway, so we haven't got suspension to worry about. But if he's injured, what do we do?
So I've been thinking about this long and hard, and as much as Jada Silva's been absolutely fantastic for us, I'd look at getting a left back in January to push him forward. And I think if we have another, it's not easy to find, but if we have another Milan on the other side, it adds a completely different dynamic. Because as good as Jada Silva is, having that other outlet, it's gonna add a different dimension to the game, because then it's not just overly reliant on AMC. And I think in defence of Haji a bit, I think the ball always goes to Efron because he can hold it up. Every time it goes across into Efron, and he holds the ball up because he's very strong and he looks after it more often than not. And I think it's sort of isolating Haji a little bit, and he's going to have them games, Haji, where he's like that. And I think that game on Saturday was more built for Sims than Haji, because it was rough, ready, and he needed to be involved and doing the ugly stuff. And that isn't Haji, is he? Let's be real. He's a pretty boy, isn't he? I mean, what do they call him?
Butter.
Montekia.
Montekia, yeah.
Super smooth.
That wasn't a game for a bit. That wasn't a game for smooth butter, was it? It wasn't. That was a game. That was a game for
Lumpy
Rocky
mashed
Ryan.
potato.
Yeah. And Haji isn't going to thrive in that. And I don't know. I think Frank knows that. I love Haji, I do, but I don't think I think he thinks he's the best option we've got now, but I don't think he fancies him. I don't think he would have signed him, put it that way. If Frank was the manager, I don't think they would have signed him, because Frank wants a sort of Kiefer Morse. He wants someone to link play, because it's a big role in our side, that, because we have wingers and flying fullbacks. Well, one flying fullback. And I think that the nine's pivotal to linking that up.
Mm. Yeah. About you, Jay, and I know we spoke about how you didn't play very well, but he didn't have an awful... what was I going to say? He didn't actually play that badly, because he didn't actually do a lot, if that makes sense. So it's not as though he got the ball, gave it away, missed a load of shots, missed a load of chances. He just didn't really get involved in the game, did he?
Yeah, that was a frustrating thing. I think in the first half, I thought he's a little bit better than he was in the second half. But again, like you, I'm not a big fan of Sims. I wasn't a big fan of Sims last year. I've mugged him off for probably the last 6 months. So apologies to Ellis if you're watching. I love you really. But I just thought, you look at that Pompey game, and it was almost a perfect 9 role, the perfect 9 game without scoring a goal. He went in there, he battled for everything, he held the ball, he got involved. You look at Kiefer Moore against us, he did the exact same. Obviously, the game after I saw he played, he was shocking that game, but obviously he was fantastic when he played against us. Look at Carlton Morris as well. Again, Carlton Morris against when we played Derby and we played Luton last year, he was just pushing and harassing our centre backs. I heard from a couple of people from the crowd that off the ball, the 2 Stoke centre backs were giving little nudges and little kicks and stuff off the ball. And that's not the game for Haji at all. Haji wants to have the space and defenders coming off him and stuff like that. So, but unfortunately, that's the league we're in. The man's 6'4", built like a brick. Yeah, so he should be putting himself around a little bit more. But if that's not your mentality, that's not your mentality at all, unfortunately. And I always feel that Haji, within the first 5-10 minutes, you know what kind of Haji you're going to get that game. Pre the international break, I felt he's a little bit different, where he was getting a lot more involved. Yesterday, I was quite nice with my player ratings. I gave him a 5, I think, or 5.5. but in reality, he's probably a little bit less than that. But it's always a case of Haji's always you always say this, he's either a 10 or he's a 3. But pre-international break, I thought you getting quite a few 6s and 7s out of him. He's putting himself about and he's making an effort and stuff. So again, I've always said Haji's going to get 20 goals this season. I'm so confident he'll get 20 goals this season. But there is a question that does Sim start against West Brom in the next match?
Yeah.
Do we work with Sims over the next 2 weeks and sort of putting?
Sorry, Jay. No, go on, carry on. You didn't finish. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, obviously, he's coming back after a long flight. Last time he was a bit shocking after his long flight, maybe give him a proper break, so he didn't have to be rushed back.
Yeah, I think the difference is with Haji and Sims is that Sims is at a sort of last chance saloon at this level. After us, I mean, it's probably going down to sort of like a lower end championship team, and Sims is willing to adapt and fight when Haji knows really that he can move, and he doesn't have to be that player that does that role. Someone else will take him on and he can sort of be himself, whereas Lampard's asking different things from him, and he doesn't need to adapt because he can get a move, can't he? Haji knows he can get a move. So I think Sims knows it's sort of like, I've got to do this now. I've got to do what Lampard tells me, and I've got to rough people up, and I've got to use my body and my weight and my size, whereas Haji's just like, I'm cool as you like. I'll do what I want, really.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I think I listened to an interview that Frank did probably about a month or so ago, and he's talking about the number 9. And to summarise it, he said number 9's there to score goals, and that's basically what he said. I don't know if he's having a pop at anybody or trying to motivate or get somebody to read between the lines, but I can see his point. And when you mentioned Carlton Morris and you mentioned Kiefer Moore, you could probably ask central defenders in the league, who would you rather play against? Haji against Sunderland when we beat them 3-0, I must admit, he was an absolute handful. Nobody could handle him at all. Strength-wise, pace, superb. But week on week, do you want to play against Carlton Morris, Haji Wright, Ellis, Sims or Kiefer Moore? And I'm assuming most central defenders would probably pick Haji or Sims out of the two, because the other two just don't leave you alone for 90 minutes, do they?
It's too cold for Haji now, isn't it? It's getting too cold.
Well, yeah, probably is. I mean...
Yeah, oh, sorry, Scott.
Right, you carry on, Tom.
What really frustrated me about Haji yesterday as well in the second half was, you look on Tuesday night, he plays in BTA and he scores to make it 3-1. Yesterday, I think he had Efron and he had BTA to the left and the right of him. Instead of passing to either of them, which is a way better option, he just takes a shot and it goes straight over it. In the away end, we were all just like, what is he playing at? Just stop being so selfish and just play the ball in. So that was frustrating, but I get you want to score goals, and he was just trying to force it there too much, and it was really frustrating at that point. We were like, just get him off, bring Sims on, because it's not working.
Yeah, I have to say, Tuesday night, I thought, I don't know what it was, but I absolutely loved that third goal. The way, Alan played the ball through and he just went down on the left, and great football, square it, tap it in, empty net, game finished. I know it was almost finished anyway, but I just love the fact that he was totally unselfish, even though he's on 8 goals and BTA was on 9 at the time or whatever it was. Superb. But yeah, we'll probably stop talking about Haji then. Let's move on to Sims then, Jay. What do you think? I thought he come on 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was.
And that was like the 84th minute. Obviously, with
Is it that late?
Yeah, it's quite late. 82nd, 84th minute, something like that. So it was quite late. Let me just check
first touch, weren't it, Jay? Was it his first touch, that flick on?
No, I'm sure he linked up the play prior to that as well.
Yeah, he had done, yeah.
He had about 1 or 2 good sort of link-up plays, I thought, beforehand. Yeah, 84th minute came on. But obviously, because of the time, it seemed a lot longer.
Yeah.
Time. But it's a shame that he didn't get the assist for that goal, which I think is quite strange because you look.
Why not? Why didn't he get it, Jay?
Did he not get the assist?
Last week as well, Jay, the top corner, he didn't get the assist. I don't get it. I mean,
do you know Bobby Thomas got the assist for Sakamoto's goal as well, where it's quite.
Yeah.
No, the only thing I can think of, it sort of flicked off his head and came off the defender's head, but I think he put himself about quite well again. I've slated the guy, but I've got to hold my hands up. Every time he comes on that pitch now, he's putting some good effort, and he's working his arse off for the team. He's not the prettiest of sort of players. His touch is a bit it's a bit bouncy, let's say, and stuff like that. But he's running, and if you got Ellison's running at you, yeah, again, they'd be a little bit scared as a centre back. And he's physically strong. He's bigger than Haji, I would say, as well. So hats off to him. If I was Frank Lampard, I would be seriously saying to him, look, we've got 2 weeks to work on this now. West Brom, I think, is going to be, again, they've got some good centre backs as well, West Brom, good defence. So I'll be working on stuff with him, and obviously Efron and BTA and Sakamoto. Again, I was having a chat on Twitter today as well. The only thing that's maybe a bit of a saving grace for Haji is Rodoni's on his way back. That could be a big game changer for him. His sort of link-up play and the way he sort of gets into his little pocket space where he can sort of play Haji through and stuff. That could be a bit of a saving grace for him. I haven't given up on Haji, but I think Sims has deserved his chance against West Brom at home. Yeah, that's a game for him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Frank could say you've got a big opportunity here, mate. You impress me over the next 2 weeks. You can start. And he's got that opportunity there. And one thing I liked yesterday, I watched the highlights last night, and for the first time, and as far as I can remember, when Mason Clark scored, he was off running towards Mason Clark to congratulate. Normally he's a little bit, oh great, we scored, but he was
a shy lad.
Yeah, very shy. I mean, he's so polite, isn't he? He's the kind of bloke that say thank you at the end of a lap dance, isn't he? That's what he's like.
Do you not?
It was like,
Do you not? I do.
But what did the crowd think of him yesterday, Tom? Sims,
yeah, to be fair, I think we're already praising him, and to be honest, he's really turning up this season. I mean, when you give him a start, we're saying about giving him a start. Look at Pompey away, for example. He was exceptional that game, and yeah, he's really stepping up. And we all said it last season. We were all on his back quite a lot, and I would say rightly so at times. I would say, but yeah, he's really stepping up now, and he's coming through. I'm surprised that he didn't get the assist yesterday. So, did anyone get the assist? What's the situation with that then? Oh. That's really odd.
So I think the ball has to go straight into the goal from the player's foot or head, and it can't touch anyone else on the way in because that hit the defender in the head, and the game before went up, crossed it, and it hit the defender, like Jay said. So I'm presuming that's why.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Poor Sims deserved the assist there, isn't he? But he did well anyway. So I thought he looked really positive. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him start soon. I hope we do. But this is not me trying to bash Haji all the time because I do love Haji, but he just needs to step up a bit more.
Yeah, a bit of competition at that, wouldn't it? Did you think about him starting next game, Ben? In your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, against Pompey, he got 2 assists. He's come on again, done another job. I don't think he will start personally. I think Frank will stick with Haji, but Sims is one of them players. When he starts scoring, doesn't he? He starts scoring. He's like, he is a natural goal scorer. Like, it hits him on the back of the head and goes in. Sometimes it's not even his fault, but like, he just seems to be there, doesn't he? And in between the 6-yard box, he's one of them players that season. It just all went right for him, and everything seemed to go in. But he's only young for a striker at this level as well. Don't forget, he's only 24, so I think we might see a bit more from him. But if we go up, is he going to get a chance to? I doubt it.
Yeah.
He's a confidence player, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I was just looking at my notes there about the formation yesterday, Jay. We spoke about it earlier on the first bit, but the 4-3-3, which seemed more like a 4-4-2 to me at times when we had the ball or they had the ball, whichever way around it was. But part of me thought he was going to play 3 at the back, not go for the draw, but if we'd have played 3 at the back and played like we played against Pompey, we were still great going forward at Pompey. But it seemed like a 4-4-2 more than the 4-4 or 4-3-3 to me at times. What about you?
Yeah, I thought Frank tactically got it spot on. Their fullbacks are really, really good. I thought we sort of contained them to stay in their own half rather than coming to our half. Sorba Thomas is there, and Manoff is their 2 sort of danger men. Again, they had moments. Obviously Manoff had a fantastic opportunity. I thought we contained them very well. The centre, I thought Ben Pearson, when he played at the CBS last season, I thought he did really, really well last year. But again, contained really well. Baker Barker, we contained him very, very well. I thought tactically we got everything spot on. And it was just, again, BT I thought was okay. Again, okay-ish. He ran around a lot and he did the press quite well. But he did a job for us. That was the key thing. He wasn't as attacking to the potent himself as he has been this season. But I thought the team worked fantastically hard for each other. They knew it was going to be a tough game, and they ran their socks off each other. And tactically, I thought it was absolutely spot on because their danger men were limited to 1-2 moments. That was it in the whole game. And we were pushing hard, but I think we were sort of lacking in that final third ourselves a little bit, just because they were sort of defensively very, very sound. And we know they're a good defensive team anyway. I just thought Frank got this one spot on this occasion.
Yeah, I mean, when after we scored, obviously there wasn't much time left, and only played 11 minutes up. I think they played about 13 in the end, Ben. But I was quite impressed with the game management into injury time after 90 minutes. When he brought Kane on as well, Kesler Hayden came on. I thought we managed the game pretty well at the end and made some sensible passes and some proper, sensible decisions as well in that final 10 or 15 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, to see a player go to the corner and just wind the other team up was brilliant for once. I thought Kesler Hayden played well, and he got a yellow card that was a bit harsh for me. The ref was just dishing him out left, right, and centre at the end of the game, and it was a bit bewildering, to be fair. But you expect that in this league, don't you? I agree. Yeah. The game management was fantastic, and you love to see that. I love to see that because, I mean, you only have to go back to Norwich last season when you talk about game management and you see that. But I was very impressed. And you know what? The good thing is I'm not surprised anymore. This team Lampard's got them playing, and they've got a manager on the pitch in Matt Grimes as well, which is, you just know Matt Grimes is going to be a manager, don't you? You just know he is.
Yeah.
So, I'm just really proud of him because I think that took some bollocks this week to do what the lads have done.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Jay's right as well. He got it perfectly spot on this week. And I thought on Friday night when we lost to Wrexham, he got it wrong that day. But who cares? We've won plenty of games of football this year. So
exactly. I mean, even some people thought we'd been found out after the Wrexham game, didn't they? But all of a sudden we end up with 6 points against Sheffield United and Stoke away.
Yeah, I even saw. I think it was. I'm not going to mention the podcast that said it, but yeah, they said, "Oh, we've been found out after Wrexham, but we're proving that we haven't been found out." And as Ben said, I loved the corner flag technique at the end. I thought it was brilliant. And the part I loved is when I didn't love watching Kesler Hayden get booted to the floor, but watching him go down, him getting that yellow card, the player that did it, I was like, we've won this game now, and they're frustrated. We're really getting on their nerves here. So it was at that point we knew we'd won, and we were like, yeah, we've done it. And it was a brilliant feeling. As Ben said, it's taken a lot of bollocks to do what we've done this week. So fair enough, because we've really stepped up, and I'm so proud of the lads, and just long may it continue, hopefully.
Yeah, I was hoping they were going to do it against Sheffield United. I was shouting at EMC towards the end to get in the corner, and he went down the corner, then he crossed it, and the keeper just picked it up, and I was like, oh no! And then when Jamie Allen had the ball, I was almost trying to tell him to pass the ball with the right weight, so it would take half an hour to get into the corner. So somebody had to run 50 yards to get it. But obviously it was a perfect ball for Haji. But it was quite nice to see on Saturday. There's I'll take it into the corner and I'll take the free kick. I'll take the whacks. Just give me the ball and I'll try and shoot. I think there was an EMT there causing mayhem. But that was great to see. That was. And final whistle. I think Frank was dishing it out as well, wasn't he? Jay, to a few of the fans, I believe.
I heard this as well. Yeah, apparently he was getting quite a bit of abuse from Stoke. I don't know what Stoke apparently got a bit of an issue with Frank Lampard from his playing days. I don't quite know what that's about. If anyone knows.
No, I think last season when he was giving it all that to them as well. Do you remember?
After we won 3-2.
When Thomas scored, but there is something previous, Jay. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah,
right,
I might ask these Stoke people about that. But yeah, apparently some rotund man was giving it a large, and he was like, "Do you like that, fat boy?" He said to him, allegedly, you don't want to get Frank in trouble. But he apparently gave one a bit of verbal, but obviously he got it out professional. I'm sure he didn't do that in reality. I'm sure he was quite pleasant and nice to a guy. But it's Frank Lampard. People love to hate Frank Lampard. He gets dog abuse from a lot of fans just because he is Frank Lampard. That's it. So if he gives it out, what do you expect? You give it him for 90 minutes, and he's going to give it you back at the end if we win.
Yeah.
So I'm sure most fans take it in jest and sort of take it as part of the game and stuff. I'm sure.
Exactly. Superb.
Sorry, Scott, again.
Go on, carry on.
Have you guys ever seen that video? I think it was from Frank's playing days. It was at Stoke away, and he's warming up, and the fans giving it to him, and I think they went and scored.
Oh,
Frank's just laughing, and he runs off. It's so funny. So
he does that.
Maybe that. Yeah, he does that. Yeah. Maybe that had I don't think that has anything to do with it, but it just reminded me of that, and I saw it earlier, and I was like, I just love coming back to that video. It's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't want to get him into trouble either, but when I was watching on the TV and he walked off, he kind of went, I think it was to the Stoke fans, he kind of went, effing get in, F off, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I can see it in person.
He looked like Frank, I'm not sure if it was him, but the comments of the fella in the crowd was hilarious when I read that.
I love that.
When they were walking back down the... Oh, sorry. You go.
No, you're good. Go on.
Oh, thank you, mate. yeah, when they were walking back down the tunnel right at the end, all like the Stoke, because obviously they were livid because they just lost and they knew how big of a game it was. A lot of their fans came to the front and they were proper giving it to our players. And most of the lads were just brushing it off and just laughing. They were like, it's just embarrassing to watch. So it was quite satisfying as well, really. But even after the game, walking back to my coach, there was a lot of Stoke fans. They weren't happy. Some of them were giving it about Frank and just, yeah, it kind of kicked off a little bit. But I think everyone was just so nervous because they knew how big of a game it was. So whoever lost, they were always going to be upset. So, and that was Stoke fans. So maybe now we've got a bit of a rivalry there, but I doubt it.
Yeah,
I think we're all starting to see, aren't we? What just sort of Frank's just like one of us. There's no bullshit with him, is there? After the games, his interviews are really honest. Whether we win or lose, like Jay said, he didn't sort of do what Robbins did and had a sort of a salty aftertaste in his mouth after the game. He said Wrexham did they did the jobs and sort of did what they needed to win the game, and he gives it fans back, and I just love that. He's just honest, isn't he? And he's very, very good at what he does as well, which always helps.
He even joined him with a couple of songs as well at the end. I saw him yesterday, giving it all this kind of stuff and singing along with the band. Did the same at Pompey, 3 points away at ALA. But I was just looking at his stats, and I saw some stats today, and I wanted to talk about Frank. But he's been here, just over a year. He's played 50, he's won 27, drawn 10, lost 13. So 54% win rate. 74% of the games we haven't been beaten in, so that's wins and draws, and the 26% loss rate, Ben. I mean, he's been here a year and he looks the happiest I've seen him in a long, long time. In terms of a managerial career, he looks like he's absolutely loving it to me.
Well, yeah, especially mention to the Cov pod, I think one of the lads on there said this time last year, we'll really know if Frank was the right appointment this time next year. And I think we can successfully say as a group, hands down now, that it was the right decision, and the geezer is unbelievable, and he's going to take us to the Premier League, and I'll back him to keep us up as well, personally.
Yeah, I think he's superb. Anybody else think he's superb? I'm sure you do.
I love him. I just love him. Everything about him. I'm so grateful because it literally was just a year ago, like 2 days ago, I think we sat Robbins, and I remember doing our pod when it happened, and we were so outraged, but a year later, we're top of the championship, and we've got Lampard, and we all just love him. He's so likable. He's so honest. He speaks well, and he just loves it himself. You see it after every win, he's giving it, and he's one of us. He absolutely loves it. And as Ben said earlier, I don't see him going anywhere. He's way too happy with us to even consider going anywhere. But yeah just adore the bloke.
You have to give the credit to Edwards and Jones as well.
100%, yeah.
I put a tweet up yesterday, I think it was. I was like, obviously, they've come and done a fantastic job. I think they've sort of upped the levels of the sort of professionalism. Not say that we were professional last time, but they seem to be, we've gone up a level in every sort of aspect, really. But then you look at the players that have improved under him. You've got Milan, Thomas, Kitchen, Jay De Silva's gone up at God knows how level. He's gone up. Torp, Rodoni's become a different player all of a sudden. BTA's become a great player. Mason Clark. All these players are really, really developing under him. So you think like Eccles, for example, people again, Eccles a bit of a Marmite kind of player, but I'm quite excited to see what Eccles does this season under Frank Lampard. Obviously, he's had a few little injury niggles and stuff, but I'm excited to see how these players develop under him and how they sort of go on. And again, obviously going back to Haji as well, Haji should take a look and say, look, these guys are really developing. I need to step up my game as well. Sims to be sort of stepping up a little bit as well. So I think the work that the coaches and the manager, well, all the coaches, I guess, are doing is absolutely phenomenal. Really, really good. Really, really happy and proud of this team.
Yeah, got the same goalkeeping coach as well, haven't we? We've got the same head of recruitment. We've got the same director of performance. They must be doing something right somewhere. Every single one of them. So superb in my opinion. But
I think it's looking back now. It's clear to see, Scott, that the players weren't playing for Robbins in the end, were they?
It seems that way, doesn't it? It's vastly different to what it was now. I mean, part of me thought, I think you might have mentioned it earlier, Tom or Jay, about Milan's long throw. We hardly ever used that when Robbins was around. Did he know about it? Did he not know about it? Did he know about it and not want to use it? Don't know. But I even noticed yesterday watching the game that a couple of times you went back to the two guys behind him with their iPad and had a chat with them. So many games at Cov, he just stood on his own with 5 or 6 people behind him on his own. Looked a bit of a lost soul to me in the last month or so of his last management employment.
They use the term a lot, lost the dressing room, and I do think it was one of them sort of situations with Robbins. Look, I'll always love Robbins, but we're in the Lampard era now, so. But he did seem a bit salty as well, Robbins, at the end. But I'm not going to.
Remember the iPads? Remember the iPads?
The iPads. Oh wow, what a time to be alive! The iPads. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I was in the because I live very close to QPR, as I mentioned a couple of times. I was sitting in the home stand. The last, I think it was maybe the third game before we got sacked, fourth game before we got sacked. The QPR game we drew 1-1, and I remember again I was quite close to the dugout. He was standing. He looked really sort of drained himself personally, and then no one was going to have conversation with him for literally 90 minutes. He was standing there by himself, arms folded, and the coach was just sitting there on their iPads playing solitaire or whatever they were doing. God knows what they were doing. But he looked so isolated and by himself and just lost. And I think, unfortunately, that decision to get rid of AD and changing the structure of the coaching system really, really cost him his job at Coventry. And he was basically the one-man sort of show for him towards the end because the coaches just weren't maybe up to the level. And it shows that he hasn't taken any of those coaches to Stoke as well. They've all sort of gone their separate ways. George Botan, Reece Carlton, all that sort of stuff. So
yeah. But we got Frank anyway. We move on to West Brom. 2 weeks time almost. Looking at West Brom's away form, they've won at Wrexham 3-2, won at Stoke, Norwich and Ipswich all 1-0. They've lost away at Borough 2-1, Millwall 3-0, Watford 2-1, and Charlton 1-0. So they've scored 8 and let 10 in. Tom. Without any injuries, or who knows, let's just say Rudy's not coming back, what sort of formation and team are you going with? Same as, do you think, knowing Frank? Or
Yeah, I don't see Sims starting personally, like Ben said earlier, so probably the exact same team from yesterday. Hopefully Rudy is back because, I mean, once he comes back in this squad, it's next level. I mean, we're already at the top level, but it'll be next level when he comes back. I see the same formation, same team as yesterday. I'm a bit worried because I feel like West Brom's always been a bit of a bogey team for us in recent years. I mean, we did beat them at home last season, right towards the end, but I don't see no reason we can't win. I mean, at home, I think the only teams we've lost to when Lampard's been in charge was Burnley and Leeds, and I mean they both dominated the league last season. So I'm confident we'll win. I'm going to say 2-1, close game, but they're a bit of a bogey side. But I think this season we're just so good this season. I feel like we could beat anyone, especially at home. So I can just see a win, really.
Okay, Jay, yourself?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the stats. They played 8 away, won 3, drawn none, lost 5, 7 goals for, 11 goals against. Their form isn't fantastic in general, home or away, really, at the moment. And the fans have not sort of buying into Mason at all. So it looks like his job may be sort of a bit. There's sort of talk about Carlos Corberán getting sacked from Valencia. So a lot of their fans on Twitter are saying that they want him back. I personally think that they're there for the taking. I've watched a couple of their games, quite dull. They've got good centre backs, good defence there. So I think they've got some big strong centre backs. So it's going to be a case of, is that game really right for Haji at home? Never know. They're not the most mobile of centre backs, I feel. So it could work well for Haji, but time will tell. I would go for a 2-0 win personally. I think it won't be comfortable. The game's comfortable in this league, but I think we've got enough class. And if Rudy, again, I'm going to put a question out to you guys. With a Rudy, let's presume Haji's your man up top. Who are you going across that front three? The two wingers.
I was going to ask that as well. I was going to ask when Rudy comes back, who do you take out?
Who do you go?
Ben will know the answer.
Scott, you always ask the question when I ask the question. Come on.
Really tough. It's really tough. I actually don't know. But it's a good problem to have. But do we want to rush Rudy straight back in? Maybe he'll start on the bench. But I feel like Rudy walks straight back in the team. But I really don't know who you take out, to be honest. I can't think.
If he walks back in the team for me, he plays. Obviously, if he walks back into the team, obviously, he's going to play with Torp and Grimes for me in the middle. And my front three, against West Brom, knowing how physical their centre-halves are, I potentially would consider EMC, Tats and BTA at number 9. I think ETA is a very good presser. Yes, people have spoken about his end product. He's still quite strong. He's still half decent in the air. He's got a bit of pace. You know, the old-fashioned defenders don't like pace, in my opinion. You know, they want to fight and battle with somebody. Kiefer Moore and Kitchen, like you saw the other week. They want to battle each other. I would consider that, to be honest. You know, that would be certainly a real consideration for me. BTA at 9 and the two guys out wide.
against
Here's one for you. I'm sure that EMC might be suspended from the next game due to concussion rules. I'm sure
is
there's
he?
a rule in place. Potentially, I'm sure there's a rule in place that if you go off with a head injury, then you miss the next game. I'm
Even
not
if it's
sure
2
if
weeks.
I'm not sure if the international break might change that, but
Yeah.
I know that there are concussion rules in place. Maybe it's just a 7-day period. I don't know
Right.
after it, but they're very strict on it. I don't think Rudy will come straight back into the team. I think he'll build him up.
Yeah.
And I think that West Brom is a game that Lampard will have too much for Mason, and I think it'll be a comfortable win in my eyes. I do. They've got that lad Price, which is he's a good player, but I can't see him. I don't think they're going to fancy it coming away.
No, they've got
to
Swift as well, haven't they? Swift's gone somewhere. I can't think who he's gone to now, but he's
He
gone
went
to
to
another championship side.
Was it Pompey?
Pompey, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think, like Jay said, I think Mason's coming to the end of his spell, and it's the same with all the new young managers in this league. You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. There's some wily old foxes out there, and if you don't know what you're doing, you'll get et up in a minute in this league. And I mean, even McKenna's struggling this season, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So what does Ben 365 think on the West Brom game then?
I think 3-1.
I've written down 3-1 myself. Who's scoring?
Yeah. You want me to tell you? I can't tell you. I think I fancy a talk goal from midfield.
Yeah. Brilliant. 2-1.
I think their manager's under pressure a little bit, to be honest. I would say. I mean, if their results keep going the way, I mean, they beat Oxford, but at home you're probably going to beat Oxford, aren't you? But I do think if they continue the way they are, he's under a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Are you doing research about the concussion, Jay?
I am, yeah. ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Often 7 to 10 days for clearance, so he may be okay. But this is very quickly looking whilst you guys are talking.
It's an interesting thing that no one's mentioned, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think really.
I think 2 weeks would be enough, though. Enough time for him to come back.
And then you've got to think as well, though, Jay. Haji came back from international duty last time, and he was tired, and he might start Sims, he might start BTA. I think he might do. That might be a good excuse for him to give Sims a go, because he might say, "Look, he's earned it," and then he might just say to Haji, "Look, have a rest, mate." You know?
Did it against Pompey, didn't he? It's when he started against Pompey. That was
very
the
true.
game when he came back. So, yeah, very good. So, 2-1, 2-0, 2-3-1s.
When we come back as well,
as long as we win.
We've got West Brom on Saturday. We've got a small game with Middlesbrough on the Tuesday.
Tuesday away. Yeah.
Another 2 games we've got to consider as well. So that's what on the 22nd we're playing West Brom. Let me just have a quick look at USA. You guys talk away, and I'll have a quick look.
I think we got West Brom at home, Middlesbrough away. I think Charlton
at home after that. Yeah.
Another tough game. The way
Winnable games coming up. I think Borough away will be tough though. It depends if they'll have a manager by then as well, which I think they probably will. So I don't know who they're going to get in. I don't know if there's any rumours at the moment for the new Borough manager.
I wish they had the manager. I don't rate him at all. They were better yesterday.
Yeah,
they were.
I've always said I haven't rated Edwards at all. I've always said that about Edwards. I just never really rated him, to be honest. So, but I think it's very snaky what he's done. But obviously, is it good for us? Maybe, because it might derail their season. But you look at them yesterday; they played quite well against Brum. So, but it's very snaky what he's done.
I think Brum had quite a few opportunities that they didn't take. So again, which is the story of their season, really. Merchant, they haven't got a chance. Just the USA here, guys. So they're playing Uruguay at home on the 19th of November, which is a Wednesday. But obviously, it'll be it's like midnight. It kicks off in our time. It's in Florida, so obviously that'll be in Thursday then. So he's got to fly back, so maybe get back on late Thursday, Friday morning. So obviously, I'm sure he may not be in economy, but he'll still be tired. So again, I say maybe an opportunity for Frank to purposely leave him out and give one of the boys. And BTA playing against the old club, it's always Dan's always a bit nervy.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
The height and
he might go same formation as at Pompey.
Yeah, being up in the plane as well at however many thousand feet it is, it affects your legs as well. It's not just the tiredness and the jet lag; it's actually the pressure on your muscles and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. So I think
Be interesting.
maybe a good opportunity
There we
to
go.
give him
Fingers
a rep.
crossed. Yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Are we there, lads?
Brilliant.
The Ireland chaps, top of the league.
Knackered now.
Should we call it that? You're breaking up a bit, Scott. I think.
Where are we? We on in another? Am I? Oh dear.
You're all right now. You're okay now.
You hear
You're
me?
okay now.
Or not hear me?
Yeah.
Any more questions, Scott?
Don't know.
Don't know. Well,
No,
lads,
nothing from me.
Great.
All done. All good.
Good stuff, lads.
oh yeah, fantastic performance. I thought personally, really controlled, measured game, top of the league. We're winning the World Cup, lads. We're winning the World Cup.
Like and subscribe.
Already won it.
Cool. I'll see you guys.
Cheers, lads.
Exactly. Speak to you in a couple of weeks.
I think we need a break. Cheers. Right.